Welcome guys and goddesses. Welcome to my channel. This will be my first video, second video, third video. So go check it out. Okay, so basically here today viewing is videos about astral projection and sleep paralysis. So I woke up this morning around 4 a.m. I had astral projection on my mind. Like, look up videos about this. Basically, that's what it was telling me. So I want to kind of share my experience with you guys about, I never experienced astral projection, but I have experienced sleep paralysis. And I had two occasions where I experienced this, and that was it, right? So my first experience was probably like around 2017, 2018. At this point, I was stationed in Germany, right? So my sleep pattern wasn't really, it wasn't good. Like, it's almost non-existent. I really wasn't getting sleep at all. So, and I had my phone right next to me, and I had it on speakerphone. And it wasn't like I was dozing off or I knew I was about to fall asleep. Like, I didn't get that feeling at all. It was just like I was knocked out. You hear me? But my eyes, I was still conscious. Like, I still was up, and it was just my body was asleep. Okay? Probably exhausted. So, like, I'm up and I'm trying to scream because, like, I have my boyfriend at the time on the phone. So I'm trying to scream and get his attention, and nothing was coming out of my mouth. Like, it was just like nothing could come out, right? That was the first situation. Second time was like the most scariest for me because it happened again. And like I said before, it wasn't like no dozing off feeling. It was just, and I was asleep. So, and and my eyes was just up, and my body was just still. So, but I can see in my room because I stayed in the barracks, right? So I could see in my room that it was this tall, slinky man with a black, like, it was all black. So it was like I don't know, like a shade. Everything was black, right? But you can see his figure like fully. You can see, and he had this hat with the barrel around it, like, So he had this hat on, and you see he had a chain. He was holding a chain, and he was holding a dog next to him, like he was almost like trying to sick the dog on me. So like at this point, I'm panicking. Like, help me, somebody help me, please. But I ended up waking up from that, and that was the last time that I experienced sleep paralysis. So, but we can get into these videos and let's see what we got going for you guys. Honestly, and then I tried to do a reaction side by side video for you, and it's not working for me at the moment, but I will have some of those videos coming soon for you guys. But it just wasn't working out this video. So be sure I get to see my face, see who I am, know that I appreciate you guys. Hit the subscribe, like, comment, and tell me what y'all think about this video. And if y'all want me to post any other things y'all may be interested in, I got you.
So y'all know how reality is filled with a bunch of messages, but it's up to us to decode it. Well, one of the messages that we've been decoding wrong is sleep paralysis. Reality tell you that it's bad, just pause and read. They say it's bad because in these moments of sleep paralysis, you temporarily don't have the ability to move or speak in the physical room. I want to emphasize in the physical room. But in reality, I'm here to tell y'all today that if you're able to undergo sleep paralysis, you actually have a gift. Now, when I had my very first experience, y'all know I'm a very analytical person, so I researched it to the T. And what I learned is that in order to make yourself undergo sleep paralysis, you must be in a very sleepy state. And that's because you're about to enter two realms at one time. Sleep paralysis is basically the bridge between being woke in real life and the bridge between DMT being produced in your brain and you're actually dreaming. In sleep paralysis, where you have the inability to speak, is instead of being fearful, if you were to accept it, the next step would be astral projection, so you could perfect it.
Y'all be asking like, Kaya, you're not scared? Nope, because that's literally what they feed off of. So you already know, I go into full warrior mode. This is how I treat them. This is how they look to me when I'm in the spiritual world. Now, it may look different to somebody else, and I'm not going to show you because I don't want that vision inside of your head. When I'm astral projecting, I feel so tall and powerful when I'm there. And negative entities, they literally look like this to me. So continuing the situation, the window was open. I walked over there and I said, you're not welcomed here. And my sister, she had this ex-boyfriend who would always come over. His energy was just so dark. I could literally see clouds around him. So highly, it was probably one of his goons. But it was literally fighting with me. So I'm over here trying to shut the window and it won't shut. So when you come encounter with things like that, you have to have very good visualization of what you want to create, protect, conjure, and allow. Literally everything that you feel there and the contents that's contained in your mind becomes physical. Remember, everything is spiritual before it is physical. So I have it in my mind that I'm bigger than this entity. And I have this thing where when I'm trying to protect my room or my house or anybody that I love, I put this spiritual visualized bubble around whatever I want to protect. So I just stopped trying to shut it because it wasn't shutting. Visualize putting a bubble around her room, floated back to my bed, and I woke up just like rushing to my sister's room. I go upstairs, she's asleep in her bed like I saw in the astral, and her window is open. That's why I couldn't shut it. Just to let y'all know, be careful when you're sleeping with your window open. Put some cellulanites by the window or something, because you got little trolls trying to get into your room and your mind and your aura and your space. I like to share with y'all what I go through astrally, lucidly, dreaming wise, traveling on my 2 walks of this multi-dimensional experience. Let me tell you something. We are moving into more and more powerful beings on this planet. Literally everything that is inside of you, inside of your head, is coming out. What you are inside of your head is coming to the light. That's why so many people are seeing the truth of what people really are, what this government really is, history, all of that, food. You better be so strong inside of your own man that anything that tries to invade it better be scared of you. Your imagination gotta be so strong that anything that you create inside of your mind is already vibrating into the rate of existence. I literally created a place inside of my head where I meet up with my ancestors, my spirit guides. It's my spiritual house inside of my mind. And I go to it every time I have questions. I got ways I protect myself mentally, how I transform negative energy into positive. You really have to wire down your mind. It don't stop. So always keep working on your mind, please.
Like, I'm gonna crack the code for a lot of people. You know sleep paralysis? A lot of people on like the internet say, oh, it's like a demon is holding you down and shit like that. No, it's not that a demon is holding you down. It's that when you have sleep paralysis, you're in between a state where like reality and like almost a dream state. So pretty much that realm is controlled by your mind. And whatever it is that you believe, whatever principles it is that you've adapted, is going to affect your experience. Because it's natural. Once your mind wakes up and your body can't move, your brain automatically goes into a panic state. You can't change that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is that a lot of us do the, like it's like fight or flight. Like a lot of us do the fucking fight because of what we're told. Like, oh shit, like there's a demon. Some people like, you know, might even hallucinate. Like I've had hallucinations in that state too. Like you see things and shit like, oh shit, I fucking see an evil lady or whatever. But that's all based upon your mental state. Like it's literally you versus you. When actually sleep paralysis is a gift because it is literally the gateway to astral projection. Once you embrace the fact that like, you know what I'm saying, you can't move or whatever, once you don't psych yourself out, you remain calm, you know what's the next level? You literally move out your body. You literally move out your body. You know what I'm saying? It's like, the government definitely don't want us to know that. Like, they don't, like, the government actually classifies astral projection as remote viewing. Because, literally, so once you're able to, like, in this realm, like, you see how we're all up and we're awake? You see how we walked into this building? Now that our consciousness is familiar with this space, we can revisit it as a ghost or as a spirit through astral projection. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but I'm able to fly off my balcony as often as I want to and like go explore the world. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done it a few times and it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the stronger you get. So to all the kids out there, don't be afraid of sleep paralysis. If you're having that, you're actually gifted. you're actually blessed. You know what I'm saying? And you can do wonderful things in this world. Just don't adopt the fucking spookism that they've given us. Because a rightful king or queen must be able to travel between worlds, or else you ain't shit. Period. A great tool, once you're there and it's like you're scared or you're panicking, laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Laugh in your head. Like, laugh at whatever you're seeing.
I astral projected into my father's body, and that is this story time while I do a hair mask. I was about 12 years old at the time when this occurred, which is extremely young, I think, but I think it happened for a reason. I remember that I had an extremely hard day because I was not having the best time at school, and I just wanted to really relax. And I remember I always created a secret space in my room. I made sure to get incense that day. I went home, lit the incense, took a shower, relaxed, organized my room a bit, and I was just really enjoying my clean, fresh feeling room. And for some reason, this night, I could not sleep at all. Like, at all. To keep in mind, in this house, I was getting affected by a lot of paranormal activity and demons and entities and stuff like that. I knew that it was spirits that were bothering me. I just didn't know why they were bothering me. I thought that everybody experienced this. I wasn't aware that, no, I was the only one in my house experiencing stuff like this. So it was about 2 in the morning when I decided to get up and just go into a pretzel position and start meditating because I thought that would help me sleep. I closed my eyes like I was taught, and I took a deep breath, and I had no expectations, so I think that is why I was able to astral project so easily. But I closed my eyes and I just let it take me. And with my physical eyes closed, I felt my third eye open, and this is where I saw everything. Okay, I opened my eyes to see I was in my father's body. I was seeing him in real time and what he was doing. My father was out of work. He was smoking a cigar in the driver's side of the car. He just finished coming from the spa, which is something he did like every 2 weeks just to help him relax because he was going through a lot as well. And he just liked to smoke his occasional cigar. And I was literally seeing him through his eyes, but I'm still in my meditation. So I take note of everything, the things he's wearing. I can feel what he feels. I can smell what he's smelling. I can see and feel everything. All my senses were overwhelmed with what was going on because this was not expected at all. And I remember coming out of it very quickly and grabbing my phone. I remember frantically texting him because I wasn't even sure what just happened. And I remember telling him, humor me, are you on the driver's side wearing this colored shirt with this pattern with your hair freshly combed back but still wet that it's dripping down your back and smoking a cigar under a bridge over here, probably by 82nd Street? And my father was in shock and he said, where are you? Can you see me? Like, what's going on? Like for part 2.
All right, so this is a story about my experience with astral projection. I have had accidental experiences as a child doing this, but there was this particular time where I did it most definitely, and there was no doubt about it that this is what it was. So once upon a time, my grandmother was sick with ovarian cancer. In the end of her days here on this planet, in this realm, she spent a lot of her time at my uncle's girlfriend's house on her couch, being taken care of. Bless her soul, she passed away. We traveled from Georgia to Florida, where our home church was, to have her funeral. On the way back to Georgia, I could not sleep, not a lick. I was awake in the car the entire time. I did not understand why I could not rest my eyes at all while we were driving back. We did not go back to my grandmother's house. Instead, we went back to that home of my uncle's girlfriend's house where she spent the majority of the last of her days. Everybody was spread out. My younger sister slept on the couch where my grandmother used to be, and I laid on the floor by the TV with others. Everyone else was pretty much knocked out as soon as we got there. But me, I was still kind of wide awake, laying next to the TV, just, trying to go to sleep. I laid there on the floor with my eyes open, and I kind of didn't even really feel tired anymore, but my eyes felt real, real heavy. I wasn't really trying to think about anything. just laid there with my eyes open and looked up at the ceiling and realized that my eyes started to get really, really heavy. My eyes got heavy to the point at which they started to close, but I got scared as hell because every time my eyes closed, I would see the room as it was, even though my eyes were closing. And I mean, the room was exactly as it was, except for there was like a filter almost over it, like a dark mist. I definitely tried to fight it, but my eyes closed and nothing was really different about the room except for the lighting. I couldn't move. I felt real heavy. And all I could really do was look around. And I looked over toward the couch where she used to lay. I saw my grandmother get up off the couch and walk over toward me. And she kneeled down and she kissed me on my forehead. A story for another time. Everyone was in the hospital when my grandmother passed except for me. I felt comforted and I didn't feel scared or anything. And she was all black. She was a black mist and she fell into everything, like she just disappeared. I then looked over toward the couch and saw my little sister laying there. But there was also a little boy laying on top of her. I was terrified for my sister, so me not being really able to move, I kind of mustered up whatever strength I had and I moved out of my body to go over to my sister.
Tell me a story about a time that you know that you saw something, but you don't ever tell this story because you know that no one would ever believe.
So this happened years ago when I was a kid. I used to live in Romania and I lived with my brother, my uncle, and my grandma. My grandma at the time was working at the shop and she needed us to bring some stuff to her. And I remember my uncle sent me downstairs to buy some things. We had like a little shop at the bottom of the building. And it was April 1st. I remember that it was April Fool's. So I go to the store and I was about like 7 years old, maybe 7 or 8. I go to the store and all of a sudden I'm not in the store anymore. I am in the apartment and I'm next to my brother looking over his shoulder while him and my uncle are putting flour in a sugar bag. And I remember thinking, what are they doing? And they were talking how they're going to fool my grandma. And they're literally like emptying the sugar and putting flour instead as like April Fools. And then I'm back in the store. I don't know how that transition happened, but I remember I went upstairs to the apartment and they had the bag ready. We were supposed to take that to my grandma. And I asked them, why did you replace the sugar with flour? And my uncle was irate. He went off on my brother, like, why did you tell her? I told you not to tell her. And he's like, I didn't say anything. He was a kid too. I didn't say anything. And he just wouldn't believe him. Like, how would she know? And I remember, like, I was trying to explain that I saw them, but obviously they knew when I came into the apartment and locked the door and everything. So there was no way for me to see it because they specifically sent me to the store and they started doing this thing immediately. And to this day, I don't have an explanation for what happened. I remember talking to somebody and they said it's like astral traveling or something like that. But it was very surreal because I was there and they couldn't really see me. Neither one of them was speaking to me. And I remember just looking at what they were doing. Just a random event. And nobody believed me.
Baby, wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Up, baby, wake up! What the fuck? What the fuck, baby? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Something, open the door. Aren't you waking up? Baby, wake up! Wake up! Oh my god, baby. Wake up! Wake up! What the fuck?
I talked to someone in the astral world, and when I saw them in real life, they knew exactly what I told them, and they had complete awareness of the dream. So this has only happened to me with one person ever in my life. And when the first time it happened, I did not believe them. They were like, yo, I saw you in my dream. And I was like, oh my God, like crazy. Like you were actually in my dream last night too. And they were like, no, like I talked to you, like it was you. And I was like, no way. Like one thing is being able to like astral project and lucid dream. A whole nother thing is being able to communicate with another human being in your dreams. Like I was like, I don't believe it. So like, almost a year passed by, and mind you, I've had like dreams with this person in between, but this one was different. Like usually in my dreams, I'm the only one that has complete awareness that I'm dreaming. Everybody else is just like their normal lives. But I went up to them and I was like, oh, they know. So I started talking to them and I said to them very specific words. And it was like a very private thing. I'm not going to say because it's embarrassing, but I said it to them. And then the next day they're like, you were my dreams. And I was like, what did I say? And the way that they told me word for word what I told them, I was crying. I was like, there's no way. Like, how is this even possible? And it's so crazy. Like, I was like crying because I couldn't believe it. And the other day, someone in my comments actually posted about it, how they saw their ex in their dreams near a water fountain, and their ex literally told them exactly what they were wearing. And can you guys please tell me, has this happened to anyone else, or is this just like a fluke and like something really weird that happened to me and to that person? Because what's going on?
Tell me, what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about that moment?
For the last 20 years, I used to think my grandmother's house was haunted. If you remember my old account, you know I told this story before, but since this is a new account, here it goes. My cousin and I would always go to Pittsburgh to visit my grandma's house in the summertime. Now, we would always sleep in this room down the hallway from her creepy doll room. This doll room had porcelain dolls and red carpet, and it projected its own energy. Now remember, there was this episode of So Weird on Disney Channel, and that show was creepy alone, and it freaked me out where I was like, I don't want to go to the bathroom because something's going to be out there. So I had to go to the bathroom, and there was something out there standing in front of the doll room. It was this shadowy figure. I ended up running back to the room and hiding under the blanket. I don't even think I wanted to use the bathroom at that point. Now fast forward to March of 2020, I had this very vivid dream where I was in my grandmother's house. In this dream, I was standing in the exact same spot as that shadowy figure, watching my younger self run from the bathroom to the other room. And then I woke up.
Okay, it's story time. Me and my homeboy, me and my partner used to be out just drinking, getting drunk all the time. I'm talking about malt liquor, old English. I'm talking about Mad Dog 2020. I'm talking about we were getting thugged. So it came to a point where I ended up having this out-of-body experience. And in this out-of-body experience, I was sitting on the curb at my sister's house, in front of her house. My homeboy stayed across the street from her house. And in the out-of-body, I came down and I'm sitting out in front. I sat down on the curb and I'm talking to him. And I'm like, man, I can't drink no more. Now, tell me why I said that. I don't know why I said it, but for some reason I just said, man, I can't drink alcohol no more. And he like, me neither. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna stop drinking, man. I can't drink no more. And that was the end of that. It's like I woke up from that. I didn't think much of it until I tried to drink, and I couldn't. I was like, the smell of alcohol made me feel sick. Just the smell of it made me feel sick. And I was telling my homeboy, like, man, I can't drink. Like, I was thinking about drinking, but the smell of it is making me like sick. Like, I can't drink. He was like, me neither. And I was like, man, you know what's funny about that though? Because I had an out of body and you was in it, and I was sitting on the curb and I was telling you I can't drink no more, and now I can't drink no more. That shit crazy. He was like, out of body. He's like, that didn't happen in real life? I'm like, no, that was an out of body. Like, I left my body and came into the front yard and you was I thought you was just, because out of body sometimes you might see people. Now, I didn't know we was having a shared out of body experience. This was crazy. I didn't find this out until I had told him, like, no, he was like, hold up, that didn't happen in real life? I'm like, no, that was an out of body experience. And he was like, man, I couldn't swear that happened in real life, because I remember I was standing up and you was sitting on the curb. I didn't tell him he was standing up. But that was like, hold up, you had the same experience I had? I'm like, that shit crazy. It was like, I can't drink. Long story short, it got to a point where he started drinking again, more. And I could drink like a little bit, but it's like I couldn't really get drunk like that. Like, I get to a buzz fade and I'm done. But he started getting fucked up again, like drunk, like past, like sleep like this. Early in the day, like drunk. And then I had another out of body experience. This time it was me and him. He was sitting on the couch and he was drunk in the out of body experience. He was just sitting there. I'm talking to him. I'm like, that man is drunk. Like, it's drunk in an out of body experience. This is crazy. And there was a computer over there, and I went over there and started messing with it, started making beats, because that's what I be doing. I be making beats. So I'm over there messing with the program, trying to look at it, because I know I'm in an out of body. I'm like, dang, this shit feel real. Like, but he over there drunk. I'm not thinking nothing of it. Like, oh, he over there messed up. I'm making this beat. I'm making the beat. And then these two big ass motherfuckers walk in the room. Look like big white boys, big old solid white boys. I'm not really paying no attention to them, but I look at them and I look back. One sits down in the chair next to me, and the other one's standing up like behind me. And they like asking me questions and stuff, like talking to me about the program. So what's this and how you do this? And I'm just talking to them like kind of chilling them out like, okay, yeah, this is what you do. You do this, you do that. Like, oh, okay. Woo, woo. Next, you know, out of nowhere, the guy that's sitting in the chair next to me, he like, hey, you know fun when you don't drink. And I'm like, that threw me back. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, I'm no fun when I don't drink. And I looked at him, and when I looked at him, this dude's eyes were buck like these. Like his eyes was like this. His hair was stringy. It was like, when I looked at him, and I noticed something was off with him, a voice in my ear said, run. And when that voice said run, I hopped up fast as hell. And when I looked at him, he tried to run towards me, and I pushed him back with my energy. He flew towards the wall, and he like knelt down on his like he was like, what the, he looked at me like, what the hell? And so these like big ass worms about this little, well, I'm saying like, they look like they about this thick. Worms like going around his whole body, like, and it looked like when he started running towards me, it looked like he was spinning, but it was the worms going around him. He went towards me, and I grabbed him. I didn't even close my hands like this. I just like did like this, and I lifted him up, and I slammed him on the ground. Now, I said stuff out of my mouth that I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know to say this stuff. Like, it was almost like it just came to me, like either an angel or something, or God in me, like God in me just came out. And I said, I'll never forget, I said, you are not allowed around me in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you as you turn into ashes and go to the lower levels. And he turned into ashes and just, and when I looked up, the other guy was looking at me like this. And when I looked up, I stood back up, and he ran towards me fast, did the same thing to him, grabbed him, slammed him on the ground, and I said the same thing. You are not allowed around me in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you as you turn into ashes and go to the lower levels. But this time, I could see another pair of hands holding him down, and he turned into ashes and went to the lower levels, I guess. After that, I got up, and I didn't see who was holding him down. My homeboy still sitting on the couch, like drunk. And I like fade out like I'm falling asleep, and I woke up in my bed, and I'm like, what the hell was that? Like, oh shit. So I told my sister about the experience. I'm telling my sister, like, you think I should tell him, like, what I just experienced? And she like, yeah, you probably should tell him. And I'm like, nah, I don't know if I should tell him, because I don't want him to feel like I'm like judging him and stuff. Like, I don't want to be that guy like, oh man, you need to stop drinking. You got the demons around you and this and that. I didn't want to be that guy. And so I guess my sister went over there, and she was telling his mama about what I experienced. His mama, she know about these experiences because he has them too. So she was like, she usually like spooked out about that type of stuff. But when my sister told me, she was like, she told you, she said you need to tell him, because he changed like today, like he's acting different. Like he went and he said him and his girl, she was like, him and his girl been like arguing and all this stuff. And today he just up and bought her flowers. He ain't drinking. Like he's in a good mood. Like she was like, you need to tell him. And when I went over to the house, I remember I went to the house and I was like, I still was like, I don't know if I want to tell him. His mama looked at me like, tell him what you experienced. Tell him. So I took it to the side. I told him, and he like, man, that makes sense. And the way he received it, I was like, damn, that's what's up. Like he didn't receive it negative. He was like, I feel like something's been lifted. Like, yeah, I think you really did do something. Like, that's crazy though. Like that's crazy. Now, that was crazy. And still to this day, I can't drink till I like getting real messed up drunk. I get to a buzz and I have to, like, I'm through it. And most time I don't even drink.
So you know how you're asleep and you feel like you're thinking in your sleep, or you feel like you're in a conversation with someone? It's because you literally are. When we go to sleep, we leave our bodies and we travel throughout the astral realm. We meet up with our spiritual guides, also known as our High Council of Light. Your High Council of Light is your personal team of guides and elders who help you make decisions for your incarnation on Earth. So what's happening is, while you're meeting with them in the astral, you are exploring different timeline options and possibilities and literally choosing the one that's going to be the best for you. If you want to start using this more consciously, simply set an intention before you go to sleep for an answer that you want or help that you need navigating a particular lesson or challenge.
Yo, let me tell you about the time someone in my dream tried to see if I knew I was dreaming. And before it sounds crazy, like, let me explain. So I was literally vibing, and I've astral projected so many times, willingly, non-willingly. So sometimes it's like I don't even know when I'm doing it. But this lady comes up to me and was just questioning me. And like, I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my gosh, she's testing me. She's trying to figure out like where my mind is. So she starts hearing my thoughts. And then like the environment just starts to get dark, and she just started to look crazy. But then like you know, like when you tell people what they want to hear, I did that. Like, I don't remember what I said to her, but I just told her, I'm like, yeah, you know, I just pretend to be stupid, like I didn't know what was going on. And then like everything just got pretty and colorful again. I'm like, this bitch trying to get me.